Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you America's top foundational health coach, Dr. Joe D.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Jody Bear, and tonight, I know it rhymes, but tonight is a delight. As many of you know, I'm known as America's top foundational health coach with over 4 decades, where I've been privileged in my traditional practice to take over 30,000 clients to achieve the goal of 1.1 million pounds lost. And during the COVID era, when I came back out of the brick and mortar to click and order on the internet and to expand my influence to the world, it has been over 3,000 that have come to find the regeneration, renewal, and restart post COVID with an amazing remedy that as you see, unless you've been under a rock the last 2 months, I have been here with Boca. Boca, what is Boca? This is where we're taking our book, soon to be, yes, a New York Times bestseller, just not an Amazon seller, which was wonderful in 13 countries. And we did it in 3.5 hours, but we're taking this book to New York Times bestseller. And why do we do this? Because we want to make influence. It's really, really true that if you stop doing, you stop growing. My guest here tonight is one of those people. She's grown into these books that we've done. We've grown into just an acquaintance in business to being personal besties, being able to be mentored. And then, after you do a mentor-mentee thing, then it becomes partnership, collaboration, and then it's an intimate, lifelong partnership. This is what I feel about my guest here tonight, Melanie Summers. She did the same thing that I did, going from brick and mortar in the schoolhouse to going ahead and taking her gift as an absolute award-winning educator and taking it outside the box, as Taco Bell says, outside the bun. But since she's a health and fitness coach, we'll leave the bun off of there and Taco Bell off there now, won't we? What I know is that she's taken it to the world. And tonight it is my great, great honor to focus on Melanie. Focus on Melanie and what she's done and what she's accomplished with her new solo book that is to launch not this Thursday, but it will be next Thursday, the 25th, which kind of fits Melanie. The 25th, what is 2 plus 5? It's a 7 number. It's a divinity number, and she is a divine human soul. That is the truth. But what I want to say, this is just a part of life's milkshake moment, isn't it? What do we say about this? Life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely, and when you do, life will be oh so sweet. And when you make the right choice for your children, then only will life be so sweet for you, but it will be sweet for your legacy as well. That's what Melanie brings to the table. And that's what comes in as we talk about all those 6 pillars: spiritual, physical, mental, social. Is there right after mental and emotional, isn't it? Because when you have mental acuity, you have emotional stability, then your social world is perfect. But bringing along the next generation, the legacy that we have now, as myself, as a grandmother, as parents, you will ensure the future is so bright. We will have to have shades, but we're going to keep the shades for when we're done. I have a surprise for my bestie here. But what it is really, really true. If you are out there struggling and you just don't know what to do with your health, and you know that health is wealth, but you don't know where to start, just remember the next right choice that you make in any and all of those 6 pillars will be the right choice for you to increase your health, create stability and peace with your home life, with children is what we're talking about now. It may be thinking outside the bun, but our line for today is a line. It's learning outside the line. We all think of those boxes there, but what does it mean to go outside this? Just like I did going from brick and mortar to a conventional practice to go to click and order. That's what Melanie did too. She thought outside the line with her amazing ability to educate. That is true health. Thinking about what is the next possibility? What is the next thing that you're going to do? As we've been talking this month about resolutions, you've seen me on social media, and I've been talking about resolve. I'm going to tell you, resolve to do something, not only with this amazing, it's more than a book, it's a guide. You will be able to take the road path to make the next right choice for your child. If not for your children and grandchildren, think of somebody who could benefit, because when they take this guide, it's just like my dear colleague, Dr. Peggy Wood says, a story will save a life, save a business, save a soul. The next thing and the next level is that with this guide, you can guide your story. You can guide a business or the business of educating your children, which is a true business, but then you can guide and shape their soul. So be thinking about this. Think outside, as I said, the Taco Bell bun, but think outside the line. Let's learn outside the line with this amazing human. Learn outside the line for you, because when you're coached, you will be coachable and you will increase. What I say, H3, if you're humble and hustle, you can save humanity. And today, if you're watching it on the West Coast, or tonight, if you're East Coast or below, or maybe it's next morning in Tokyo, you will hear what we're talking about, learning, growing outside the line, because it's very few times that you have someone who has talked her walk, has stayed the course for 4 decades, like myself. I really think we were separated at birth, actually. And you will feel that love, you will feel that passion when we bring Melanie Summers back after our commercial break. What I thought was so fitting with me at 69 and 11/12, and Melanie Summers 60 and 2/12, we can say live freely. Then we can go ahead and live freely because we have proactive aging. Who says that a grandmother plus one, being Melanie, that we can't start a new business, start a new venture, start a new life? And with our main sponsor from Boca and our symposium, our Healthopedia Symposium and Retreat, Live Freely, Arthur and Daniel Jew have a system that they've created, and Daniel being in his 60s, and he created it after a situation to help those that are parenting our parents. So take a look, take a heartfelt listen to what live freely really means for someone who is aging and is in that geriatric stage, so they can not only themselves live freely, but so can you.
Aging seniors face a variety of challenges when it comes to their health and well-being. Now, there's a way to take control of aging. Meet Buddy, your personal health assistant. Buddy is a cutting-edge digital health solution that empowers seniors and their caregivers to be proactive in aging. The platform works on smartwatches worn by the senior and paired to their phone. Buddy automatically detects, predicts, and prevents falls. If a fall is detected, your loved one's watch will vibrate and display fall detected, I'm okay, or help me. At the same time, an alert is sent to the caregiver and a 5-minute countdown begins. If the alert is not addressed within the 5 minutes, Buddy will automatically connect to 911. Many times, a loved one is prescribed a walker or cane when they become a fall risk. Through Bluetooth and gamification, Buddy encourages the use of assistive walking devices by providing points that can be converted to gift cards. Buddy also reminds your loved ones to take their medications on time. One of its most innovative features, Buddy uses all the data it collects to create a personalized baseline and measures deviations to alert of potential health issues. Gain greater connectedness, peace of mind, independence, and security through Buddy, your personal health assistant. To learn more, visit www.buddylife.com.
Just like Buddy creates a sense of well-being, peace, and security for the older generation, this is what Melanie Summers has done for the next generation. As Les Brown says, children are 40% of our population, but they're 100% of our future. And think about this, their children's future. It goes on and on. When we do this right, because we're at a pivotal point, and this is what I believe Melanie has stepped in to the right place at the right time, because as our saying goes for our February summit in Boca Raton, Florida, our Healthopedia, the beginning of our tour from Boca to Colorado to LA, our tour 2024. We said it's right people, right time, right now, right place. But Melanie added, this is just what she does. She added the right stuff, probably because she has the right stuff. And this is what her stuff has been around for 4 decades, for sure, for sure. 42 years as an award-winning educator, quite an accomplishment. But Melanie has now taken homeschooling to millions of family. It's really outside the classroom now. She's taken what she's learned through all these many years to now becoming from teacher to consultant to coach. I know firsthand what she does when she gets into something, she goes all in. And she has gone all in not only putting this manual together, that's a life manual and guide for your children, but she has also gone all in with now, I would say, becoming a professional, not only trainer, teacher, but speaker, being a graduate of the Les Brown Academy that we went through this. This was more than one time, but you know, when you got your bestie, you just got to bring somebody in again. And she just took the Les Brown coaching by storm. So she is fully equipped, fully everything, because what does she do? She is someone that gives them their messenger wings. She not only educates, but she empowers. She's empowered me every time I'm around her. You will get empowered by Melanie in the Boca retreat because she's going to be there being a health coach and fitness coach, being a writer in our Healthopedia. Oh, yes, she is going to be there as well. So what I can say is it was great honor and delight and just heartfelt love. Melanie Summers, welcome to Life's Milkshake Moments, because this, my dear, is your milkshake moment. Sprinkles, whipped cream, and a cherry on top. Pre-congratulations to your book.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And wow, what an introduction. You always make me seem like I am this great, wonderful person. And I just love you so much.
It's probably pretty easy to make you this great, wonderful person, because guess what, audience? She really is. I know her intimately. We've gone on spiritual retreats together. She is that person. So let's just get into you, Melanie. And yeah, we could make this a sister talk, but I really, really want to focus on you, what you've accomplished here. And let's start out just with a couple of minutes, because I got a lot of surprises for you. So just get ready. You know, I know you like it. Your why, according to Dr. Gary Sanchez, has now become our Healthopedia coach. I know your why is simplified, but get ready for it to be very grandiose today, because mine is better way. So get ready. Okay. You've been So just a little bit of background about you, back from Sistersville. And I want to ask you this one question. Did you ever play school teacher when you were a child? Is that where you got the bug?
Yes, I did.
I knew it.
I did. I lived in the country on a farm, and there wasn't too many people around. When you live on a farm that was nearly 100 acres, that's pretty. I mean, it's not a ranch from the West, but, it was a pretty big farm in West Virginia, and there wasn't a whole lot of people around for me to play with. So I had my dolls, and I had my imaginary friend whose name was Jockey, and I'm not ashamed to say that. I talked to him all the time when I was little, and I'd line them all up in front of my. Back then, it wasn't play school, but it was a my little blackboard, and I taught school.
And it's really true. I'm thinking about this, Melanie. When did I get my bug for singing? Because I was 5 or 6. It's those formative years, and
Mhm.
I just I found out that I could sing. I mean, I didn't sing. I could sing, and it just uplifted my mother, who was going through a depression. I didn't know what it was about. Who knew that we would both find our way through that? And I think that when you were called into teaching, because I love this story. I know when you were back in and you were yes, I'm going to go and let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. She excels at everything she does. She spent school, she got through college in 3 years. There was no doubt that you were going to be an educator. But many people just vacillate, don't we? From, oh, I'm going to be an archaeologist. Well, that's my husband. He never vacillated. But I'm going into sociology. I'm going into psychology. When you got to school, was that it? You said, I'm going to be an educator.
I knew for sure I was going to be an educator when I was in second grade.
So it was even before. I misspoke about this because you had a mentor. See, what Melanie is going to be is a mentor for your children and your grandchildren. You had that mentor in second grade when you're thinking about coming out and you're thinking about community. So tell us about your second grade teacher.
My second grade teacher, I never knew her first name, and I still don't, but she was Miss Dietrich. And I absolutely adored Miss Dietrich. She was just, I can't say enough. She was that much to me. And I knew I was going to be a teacher. It was the spring of the year, and she introduced fractions. And she put on the chalkboard, and it was a blackboard back then. She put on the blackboard 1/2 and 1/4. And she asked the class, how many do you think 1/4 is bigger than 1/2? And every hand in the whole class went up except mine. And then she said, well, okay, who thinks that 1/2 is bigger than 1/4? And my hand went straight up in the air. And, all the kids started laughing because they thought they were right because, there was numbers on their side, right?
Right.
And Miss Dietrich, she never raised her voice. She never, screamed and yelled or did anything like that, but she had a look. And the look was something like this. And that was it. And when she did that, everybody knew that something was wrong. So everybody gets quiet. And she said, Melanie, why do you think 1/2 is bigger than 1/4? And I said, well, for 2 reasons. I don't remember how second grade or would have sounded back then, but I remember saying, I helped my mom bake. And she lets me put things in the measuring cups. And when the recipe calls for 1/2 of something, I know that it's more than 1/4 of something because she had one of those old glass Pyrex measuring cups. And that was her only measuring cup. I said, I knew that. But the second reason I know is that we have 4 kids in our family. And she goes to the store once a week and she buys each one of us a candy bar. And we get one out of the 4 candy bars. But I had 2 older siblings. And when they were gone, their candy bars got split between my little sister and myself. So we got 2 out of the 4. So I knew we had
more candy, better measuring cup. That was pretty easy.
Yeah. And so Miss Dietrich looked at me and she said, Melanie, you're going to be a fine teacher one of these days. And then she looked at the rest of the class and she said, and you owe Melanie an apology because she's right.
Woo! The self-esteem went back. So give us the Miss Dietrich look again. I want to see it one more time. Yes. So, and when your children need it on coaching, I promise you, she's got the pose. Absolutely. So thank you, Miss Dietrich, because if you're looking from here or from heaven, guess what? You absolutely gave this book to the world now because of the look.
Yep, this is
So
true. If
it
not,
only we would have you might have been still a farmer in Sistersville. We never know. So isn't I mean, what a cool story. There's always one person that makes all the difference. Always one person that makes a difference. So I mean, this was a big deal. I mean, I know that you retired and you were just kind of looking for something to do because you're like me. The one thing you don't do is retire well. And COVID hit, no, and you found a real need now, didn't you? So how did you transition from retired teacher, COVID hits, and then all of a sudden you're saying, I'm going to do this homeschool coaching thing?
well, I did after 42 years retire in 2017. And you know the story about, maybe you want to back on that later, but I gained a lot of weight and I lost a lot of weight. And then just as I was really getting healthy and doing my thing there, COVID hits. All the gyms are closed down and everything. And I'm sitting around one day and I'm looking for a recipe, for chicken. And I'm like turned upside down in my freezer trying to find my chicken. And my phone rings and it was in my back pocket and I picked it up and and I said, hello. And it was a former student of mine. She said, Mrs. Summers, can you help me? We're all quarantined. We can't go to school. And we're doing this thing on virtual learning. And I don't understand how to do this problem. And you always were able to explain things so simply that I just always got it. Can you help me? And I said, of course. Show me, send me your problem. And she did. And I went back and I said, do you remember back in 6th grade when we did this? And and she was, thank you so much. I said, you having any more problems? She goes, no, just a little bit in chemistry. I said, well, I can help you with that too. She goes, but my brother's really struggling. Can you help him? And I said, of course I can. So it wasn't too long after that, my phone started ringing off the hook. It was former parents and former students. I always gave my phone number. Most teachers don't. I always gave my phone numbers to my parents because, if they're having trouble with homework or you're having an issue, you need to tell me. I don't want them doing homework the wrong way because all that does is solidify how to do it wrong. So, so I started getting all these phone calls. So there it is.
Well, and there's a real message here, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember when you think that you have no impact, it's the power of one. It's from the power of one from Miss Dietrich to the power of one because Melanie was one of a million. None of my son's teachers ever gave me their phone numbers. And I bet you're 1%er that did that because you gave that phone number and she remembered Mrs. Summers. Then look what just unfolded. This whole, I'm going to call it because it's my favorite nickname for you is Melly Mel. It's that Melly Mel, just that Melly Mel. I'm just going to call it a Melly Mel educational spell because it's a good spell. You're going to teach them more than it's that empowerment spell that you have. And I've seen you that your eyes just light up like the 4th of July when you talk about educating children. It's truly, truly your gift and mission. And I know that it means so much. And yes, I'm going to leave this. I'm just going to leave this for, if you want to hear her weight loss story, you want to see her weight loss story, you got to buy the book, Healthopedia. She's in here. If you want to hear her weight loss story, come to Boca because not only, you could have one career, but she has two. And it's been such a pleasure and an honor to go ahead and just be by your side as you were going through weight loss and what I know a thing or two about a thing or two, I guess. And it was just it was wonderful to share that. So when you want to see those eyes sparkle, come to Boca. If you want to hear those eyes sparkle, if weight loss, if it's this, if it's something that you want to know in fitness, in the I'm going to call it the golden years, well, you got to be with us, because when you're in Boca, you're going to see the grannies do the gravity ball. Yes, because we're going to be doing a whole thing. She ain't playing when it comes to education. She ain't playing when it comes to health or fitness, I can tell you. So we're going to be doing that. Dr. Mark Chavez, MD, was our guest 2 Mindset Mondays ago. And he's also not only an author in Healthopedia, but he's also one of our sponsors for Healthopedia. So, Melanie, why don't we just take a look, take a listen, take a feel to the Gravity Ball commercial honoring Dr. Mark Chavez, so we can kind of get our moves down in a rehearsal, shall we? We'll be back right after this commercial break with Gravity Ball. It's a one-of-a-kind thing, and he guarantees that you can use it to 100. So we've still got like 30 years to go. I like that. Go, go, Gravity Ball. So let's try that move. I don't know, Melanie, whether we're going to do that half moon pose over this and that, but get ready. In Boca, we are going to introduce Dr. Mark Chavez with a routine from 3 women who are 60 and over. And he thought that was a great idea. So we've got many, many things, but I want to just segue into your book and what this is all about, because this is very, very important to me. See, there are people in this world that you give an invitation and they say, well, now's not the time, now this, now that. And like I said, Melanie, you're one of these people that just goes all in. I said, Melanie, join me at Ignite Your Wisdom. And you did. And you wrote a story. Then you went ahead and you wrote in Ignite Forgiveness, which you did. Then you upped your game because you got so good at this writing and realized it fits. You've done curriculum education and writing for 1 million years, 4 decades. And then not only were you an anchor author in the physical pillar in our book here, Healthopedia, and us going to, I mean, how does it feel to know that your 3rd book is going to New York Times bestseller? I mean, it's just amazing, but it's because, and then I'll let you answer the question, but I got to finish this. Because what you did in this, Melanie, is you stepped up. We needed extra editing, some TLC with a few authors, and you stepped in to the next groove. So now we've called her the ghost editor, and she will be the key editor in our next book with The Essence of a Woman with Dr. Kalila Camacho Ali. Do you see that she just doesn't quit? I mean, I don't know any other way to describe it. You just don't quit. So how does it feel to know that you've gone beyond, with your anthology books, beyond Amazon bestseller, now soon to be, and on track for New York Times bestseller? How does that feel?
You know, it is one of those things that just makes me grin. Just makes me grin. And I haven't even really had time to sit down and really realize what that means, but I know it makes me grin.
It makes you grin because not only do you know that that 0.13 Okay, so it's, excuse me, point zero. I didn't get that fraction questions right with Miss Dietrich either, probably, but it's 0.013 of all books published after ever get to New York Times bestseller.
Wow. Now I'm just astounded.
Yes, so
0.13 or was it 0.013?
0.013.
Point
Like I said, I wouldn't have gotten Miss Dietrich's question right. I just know I wouldn't have.
Yeah, that's 13 thousandths.
Yeah, 13 thousandths. That's that's a very small, skinny
Yeah.
to your mom, to your kids. So
Yeah.
so knowing that and knowing what we're going to be doing, I just have to say honor and homage. We're going to be starting next week. Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali, who is our anchor author. We need 2 more women that want to be called into this special group. We'll take this one, The Essence of a Woman, to New York Times bestseller, because now we've got the secret sauce. And how amazing it was to be with Dr. Bernie Siegel and to be in his wisdom. But now Dr. Khalila Camacho Ali is coming in to Life's Milkshake Moments. She is coming in to our masterminds, and she's going to be an active part. And she's also, if you ever wanted to meet an icon, well, I guess meeting Muhammad Ali's wife down in Boca for Healthopedia, the symposium, and being able to say that you will see her getting the Lifetime Achievement Award is a pretty big, hairy deal, which is a great place to say, guess what else is a big, hairy deal? It's Innovative School, homeschoolsolutions.com. And here, as you were doing Healthopedia, as you were doing this ghost editing, as you were doing this, you were also working on your solo book, which has turned into a magnum opus, has gone further than, definitely further than the novella. And ladies and gentlemen, I was watching her edit in October when we were at our spiritual retreat. So I know how much heart, soul, passion, and time that she has put into it because she cares. I'm not sure that you took the test wrong, Melanie, with Dr. Gary. Because when you do, let's see, I was working on my solo book. I was building my homeschool coaching. And then I was part of Healthopedia. And then I went ahead and I was a ghost editor and one of my leaders, and I was writing that book. I don't think that is simplified, but I guess you simplified it in your mind. And I know this is going to be every single page of this 300-page book is going to be a hit. So how did you come about saying, okay, I'm not going to just coach and tutor and consult. I want to write a book. I know there's a story in there.
Well, there is a story, and the story simply means this. I want to take you back a second to a saying, and it's so true. I've known this for a long time, but our coach and mentor, Jay Nolan, says it all the time. You know, children learn most between the ages of 0 and 7, but the first person who ever said that was Aristotle. Give me a child before they are 7, and I will show you the man. And that's exactly what he said. And that stuck with me because how better to reach the millions of children than through their parents by reading this book. I can give to children continually, even when I'm gone. This book will still be there, and it will still be there for parents to help their children. And I will be able to, into the future, ignite the lives of children. And that's why I did it, because children have been my life forever.
And so they will be your life forever. And I think that is so amazing. You can find her on Facebook, LinkedIn, Melanie Summers. How can you forget that smile? And you will not forget that name. Make it easy. So, I mean, I think that the 3 questions that I have, because you so succinctly went ahead and divided this in parts, and you give people a guide, you give parents a guide. It's kind of like what we do in health coaching. What do I do next? It's just the first right choice. and the second right choice, but you start with the first. So how did you come up with this uh, this 3-part idea?
I have always believed that education is not a one size fits all. It isn't. And I never taught, even in my classroom. I just never taught one way. When I was in college, they taught us to do that. They said, your class is really made up of 3 categories of kids. You're very smart, you're average, and then those who struggle. And you should, and since most are in that middle part, at least 3/5, if not more, of your kids are average, the average kid, then you teach to them, because you're going to catch them and you're going to catch those top kids. And you may have to work a little extra with those lower ones, but you will hit almost everyone that way. Mm-hmm. And I went to school, and that's how I first started doing that.
Well, and I think that is so beautiful how you set this up. But speaking, since you mentioned our mentor and our coach, Jay Nolan, I want to give him all the credit, because it probably took him 0.013 seconds to do this video, because he's so conscious, he's so unconscious competent with this. But I want to just really not only thank him for what he's done for both of us with our literary visions, but also for this video. So let's just take a look into what learning outside the line is about, and then we're going to go into the second and third part.
Melanie Summers isn't just a book. It's a call to action for every parent who dares to challenge the status quo of education. Melanie Summers, armed with over 40 years of pioneering educational experience, ignites a bold new path in homeschooling. Her message: education is not one size fits all. It's an adventure unique to each child, waiting to be unlocked. Your home is more than a residence. It's a potential powerhouse of learning, creativity, and discovery. Melanie challenges you to break free from traditional teaching boundaries. Transform every corner of your world into a classroom without walls. With Melanie's innovative strategies, you won't just teach, you'll inspire. You won't just educate, you'll ignite a passion for learning. Join Melanie in reshaping the homeschooling landscape. Embrace a journey that's tailor-made for your child. Every child has a unique learning fingerprint. Melanie's approach helps you decode it, leading to a journey of endless possibilities. Melanie doesn't just ask you to read her book. She challenges you to change your perspective on education. Are you ready to step out of the line and into a world where education is boundless, where your living room, backyard, or local park becomes a classroom? You are not just a parent. You are a trailblazer, an educator, and a visionary. It's time to redefine your role. This book is more than knowledge. It's a blueprint for educational revolution. It's your guide to crafting a learning experience that transcends traditional boundaries. Embrace the challenge. Step into Melanie's world of innovative homeschool solutions. Transform the way you think about education. Learning Outside the Line by Melanie Summers. Challenging the status quo. Change your child's life by saying, "Challenge accepted." Your journey starts now.
Wow, 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 wow. And that is a wow. I'm thinking you've done all that. You have challenged, you've changed, and you've changed the face of what we're looking at with homeschooling. I know. I can just see you, because I've just got to say this. 300 pages. Excuse me. Did I say 300 pages? Okay. I've been around. People show up at a convention, their keynote, they say, okay, here's my book. So then, and then what they're going to have to do is bring one of those crates or like a shopping cart. Said, I needed somebody to carry my book when you go up there. Visualization is a real key. So there we go. So you go into and you look at the second part, which I want to, and I don't go into detail now, because guess what? They got to buy the book. You have focused so uniquely on learning styles from children, the learning styles, but it's not just their style, it's their innate DNA. Just give it, and I've never seen that in a book. That makes it a home run. Please share.
I discovered a psychologist in the mid 1980s by the name of Howard Gardner and his theories of multiple intelligences. And I read his book and I paid attention to what he was saying. And I thought, wow, how can I apply this to my classroom? And before I knew it, I found out that there was a questionnaire that I had to take. And this thing was like written in psychology, type of vernacular, 200 and some questions. And I thought, how can I do this? My third graders can't do this. So what I did is I streamlined it into child vocabulary and
Beautiful.
dropped it down into 24 statements. And that is included in my book. And so I'm not going to tell you what it is,
No, because they got to buy the book and they got to download it for free on the 25th on Amazon.
Exactly.
The name is Melanie Summers. Download the book for free. It will change a child's life. Okay, I just had to throw that in.
So, and then once you find out how your child learns, because you will find out immediately with this 24 questionnaire thing that your child does, you will find out how they learn. And you will find out that there are specific ways that child learns. And they're different because I'll give you two. A mathematical logical learner does not learn the same way that a physicalist does.
No.
They absolutely don't think the same way. They don't act the same way. But if you get into their head and you figure out, oh, this is how my child does this, and then you get a whole chapter on that learner and sample ways to teach them whole learning things from that, all 8 kinds of learners, then you're going to find out, oh, so that's how I question my child. Oh, so I should never put a musical child in with an interpersonal child. Oh, that's never going to work. And once you find out that secret sauce, your homeschool is going to just rock and roll. And you're going to have your kids finishing kinds of things when they're 12 that they wouldn't have gotten until they were 16.
Absolutely. And I wanted to put this up. Learning Outside the Line is the name of the book. You see Melanie Summers. How can you forget? Because right now, even it's cold in Florida. You can see me in this sweater dress. We want summers again. Okay. So Learning Outside the Line book launch next week on next Thursday, 1/25. And when you put together 1, 2, 5, it means growth. And think about how that's going to fit your child with growth. Everybody needs to learn about multiple intelligences, but guess what? Melanie Summers comes her own bag of M&Ms because it's multiple intelligences, Melanie. And that's what she brings because you see what she did? Ladies and gentlemen, she went and learned outside the line for her children back in a conventional school. And she adapted it because no child is going to sit through. I'm not going to, sure, I would sit through 240 pages of psycholese, but you took your giftedness in writing and you made it their own, not just your own. So go ahead and give me, I just want you to, whatever comes into your unconscious mind, what is that thing about taking people, then you empower them. I think that is one thing that I said, you do it with ease, but it's empowerment and it's education. You can have education, but you put empowerment into this. So what can a parent or a grandparent or somebody that's giving this as a gift, did I tell you you can download it for free next Thursday on the 25th? Okay. And I'll say it again. But the idea is you've got that section 3 and you take, because I've read some of your advanced reader copies, so I can give you truly my 5-star review. I'm ready. I'm poised. I'm going to lock and load, get my free copy. Absolutely. And then I'm going to buy the book for my son and his daughter-in-law. And then what I've learned from Manny Lopez, one of our mentors, Network of Influence, go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and buy 2. You know why? because you know somebody right now that needs the book, and somebody will come to mind in that mailbox, and you will feel like you've really given the gift of life and legacy. So, 3 parts: download for free, give it to somebody that pops right in your head, and somebody in the future. So, knowing that, and you come into section 3, and I'm going, ooh, that's good. Ooh, that's good, because you empower those that are reading. So, what just comes up into your mind that you want to share about that, Melanie?
Well, after I, do the introduction of everything, and I get you through the questionnaire, and I give you all these sample lessons and things, and tips and tricks of each individual types of learners, then I tell you exactly what you need to do for homeschooling. For instance, don't go out and just buy a bunch of stuff, and don't set your house up like a traditional school.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Practicality. You've given practicality.
Yep. And then the whole resources is over 130 websites that I have vetted, where you can go and find information and free materials to use. And if you get and when you download it, it will be in digital copy. It's got hyperlinks in it so that you can just click on them and it will take you right there.
And that is, I'm just going to say, you've always thought that you've heard about the thing about a dumb blonde. That one, a dumb move. That was a really brilliant blonde move. I'm telling you, because you want ease. People want accessibility. They want to know that it's going to be easy to do, because they'll think, oh, this is a great idea, but it's easy to do, easy not to do. You've made it easy. 100 resources. Are you going to use them all? But just like I asked Melody to just instinctively say, what came to you about that you want to share? And yes, I really wanted to get that equal sign off, but it didn't work. So I'm not going to worry about it now. We're just going to put it right here and keep the flow. But I can truthfully say that for me, the fact that intuitively you just knew, that is an unconscious, competent person that has gotten expertise with everything she knows, everything she does. And why not take up somebody who has this expertise and taking her guide? But I tell you, you must go ahead and look her up on her website, Innovative School Solutions. This is a must. Going ahead and put her out on your list to go ahead and get the book on the 25th. Get the book. Yeah, it's just going to stay. You know why? Because 1 minus equals 2.5. See, one person. Yeah, that's why I stuck up there. I got it, Melanie. That one person, it was Miss Dietrich. That one person that you were generous enough to give your phone number to, that was your student turned a parent, made that call. And Melanie can be that one person that will make a difference, just like that. So then it turns in from one person, from 2 to 5, because 8 is the number of motivation and increase. That's what you're going to do. That's what you've done for 42 years. Did I say she was an award-winning teacher? They don't give award-winning teachers. And guess what? You don't have to mute that out with dogs, because guess what? Your puppies just went ahead. You know what Rick Sykes says about that? Every single time I've ever interviewed him, his puppies come out and do something. Melanie, guess what? The puppies came out and they edified what I just said. That one person turns into expansion, and the puppies energetically barked and agreed. So let's come back and unmute this. I thought that was absolutely adorable. This is what Rex and I have decided every time. If the puppies agree and they bark, it must be so. That's all we need. It must be so. So Melanie, think about it. I want to just come around. Yes, the book's fantastic. You're fantastic. But how does it feel to know that you will birth this baby of your mission and passion into fruition next Thursday?
It is, you're going to bring me to tears.
I hope so.
It has been my mission my whole life Children has been, that's my mission. And this book not only addresses those people who homeschool their kids, which incidentally, at the beginning of COVID was about 2.9 million children, has
Yes.
grown to over 15 million now. It is something that is happening and continues to grow every single day. But it just humbles me that I can do this for so many people.
Because your why may be simplified, but I know what you bring to the world. The word is contribute. I saw your test. It's on my desk. I know what it says. And that's what you're contributing to society. One person, Miss Dietrich, one parent called you up. Now we have the one person that will make the difference maker with Melanie Summers. That
And
is
you
you.
know, it's if you're just a parent that needs help with your child who is in traditional school, you can
Yes.
read the book too. It's for you too. It's
If you have a child, you know of a child, you have a grandchild, how much better are you going to be to have the biggest arsenal of a lifetime? So I can just say, have them, Melanie. We could be on here for another 30 minutes, but that's just because I love you with it from the depths of my heart. But I was thinking about how I want to end this. Before I do this, one is one last Melly moment, it's just that one piece of wisdom, short one piece of wisdom. What would it be?
if you are on the cusp of thinking about homeschooling your child, I've given you the secret sauce to do it.
Yes.
Grab the brass ring off of that merry-go-round. Get off the merry-go-round with the brass ring and do it. Your children will love you for it.
They certainly will. And, I think, and I will say, I know that Les Brown, if you're listening to this, we've said, at least 20 times. So we owe you $2 for every single one. It only happens when you get in, because we want you to know. It only happens when you get into conversation. That's what I feel that we've done here tonight. And Melanie, what you've done in conversation with children, you just bring them in with those sparkling eyes, that beautiful smile. And I'm coming back to what the chapter title is in this book. It is Pay Now or Pay Later. Now, Melanie there talks about, and you can look at previous broadcasts when she talks about her weight loss and her health journey to success. She will use the same part of that success in homeschooling or empowering your child if they're in traditional school. Doesn't it make sense? Pay now or pay later. You have a choice. But this is what Melanie is going to do. She's going to make you feel more intelligent. She's going to make you feel like you can be a parent and put on your sparkling glasses. That's all I'm saying. And I can say, why not sparkle with Miss Melanie and get your own set of glasses that will make you sparkle with the eyes of empowering your child? Melanie, this has been an honor to have you a guest. And it's going to be just an honor to see you rise up the ranks to international bestseller. Let's just do it in 13 countries, okay?
I love it.
Now, I'm reminded of what I've said many, many times. You put your hand on your heart and you feel the pulse. But when you put your hand again on your other hand here over your right hand, your pulse beats stronger. That's what Melanie Summers will do for your child. That's what she will do, ways that are untold, because she has the solution. She knows what innovation is, obviously taking a form that was in cyclese and making it elementary ease. She figured out a way, and so will you. So download the book for free. As I said, go ahead and get one for somebody that comes to mind now, and then for someone who will come to your mind for later. Because when we can empower our children We've made all the difference. You can find her on Facebook and LinkedIn right there with our Learning Outside the Line. It's everywhere. And I can truthfully say that she's an innovator. She has a heart, and that's what makes all the difference. So come join us. One last time, I want to say, come join us in Boca, because just as Melanie is educating from the inside out, we have a very few seats left, not many, so you better grab yours today. Here is the registration link. This is what you've got. You've got a chance to empower yourself so then you can empower others. That's what Melanie has done with your life. And if she can do it, you can do it. I'm reminded of what Les Brown says. It is necessary for you to do what only you can do. Go about it. In this case, educating your child the empowerment way. Go about it as though yours and their life depends on it, because you know what? At the end of the day, it does. So join us next Thursday for Life's Milkshake Moments with content creator, taking authors from author after their bestseller to coach, consultant, and speaker, Chris Trammell of Manny Lopez Movement. And then be with me on Mindset Monday with event planner to educator in health food and longevity. She is an educator. She said she started from educating. It must be an educating week. Educator, event planner, and then into longevity health coach. Another one of our authors who is Sue Kostek. So I'm going to say, until next time, just remember that life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely. And when you do, your life will be so sweet, because it will be sweet for you, but it will eternally be sweeter when you remember these children for your legacy. So until next Monday with Sue Kostek or next Thursday with Chris Trammell, I would say, have a healthy, healthopedia kind of day. Ciao for now.